Okay, here's a quick video to show you how to install the ButtonWorks keypad. This is an Atlas Copco torque tester, ACTA 3000 torque tester somebody sent in for repair. And I made this keypad for it. Now, it breaks apart into sections. This main large section does all these buttons here. And then this row does those buttons. And then there was one more left, so that right there is for that one. And then the slightly longer one is for the enter key, and the single one is for the power down here. So to install this, you need a Torx 10, a Torx 20, and a Phillips screwdriver. And well, a flat screwdriver or a coin or whatever to remove the battery. And just pull the battery out, set that aside. And then it's Torx 20 on 4 screws on the back. The bottom ones have rubber feet on them. Okay, and then you have to take out all these black screws on the back, and that's a Torx 10. Okay. Once you get all those screws out, you can take the back plastic off and slide the battery plug through that hole. Set that aside. Now for this top board here, it's just, at this point there's a plug right here that you can't see, and you just, with all those black screws removed, this will pull out like that. And there's a grounding cable over here that just gets pulled out, and then this fan is plugged in there. So we've got this power supply board. I'm going to put that aside. Okay, so somebody has removed a bunch of screws from this. I've already done one of these, and it had Torx 10 screws. Here. Okay. So those have been removed by somebody. There's 2 posts here, and I'll just use a little. They usually come out pretty easy. You just start them, and they'll unscrew. Raised posts. Okay, and then there should be more screws. So then, right along this bottom edge is another long pin plug there. So I'm going to kind of wiggle it and pull it up. And then that should pull out like that. And gently set that aside. This is the LCD display. This is high voltage power. You can just unplug that. And then this is the rib. That was partly unplugged, but these 2 black plastic teeth or gripper things slide straight out. If you are too rough with it, you can break them. Usually you can fix it even if you break it, but you just want to push a little bit and not too strong. And then the display will unplug. So we have more screw posts here. These look like they're all where they should be. So just get them started with the little pliers. And then I can do it by hand. And then there's one just nut right there in the middle without a post. It's a nylon lock thread, so comes off. And then that's the keypad board, can get lifted up. And there we go. This one's not too bad. There's some, you can see the black circle there, a little dirt on this one. So very important, we want to clean that with isopropyl alcohol. I use 90% isopropyl alcohol. Just dampen a rag and clean that stuff off. Otherwise, you're just going to seal the dirt in there with the repair. And dries by itself pretty quick. If your keypad's really nasty, you could clean that as well. This one doesn't look too bad. Or you could take it out and wash it off in the sink. Okay, this one's not too bad, so I'm just going to put it back in. You know, if there's oil and stuff built up, you could go over with the rag. Might as well. But, okay, so I'm going to put this aside for the video. Center on the keypad board. And show you. Okay, so we're going to break these pieces off. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there, and that goes there. So we got this, and there's the larger 3-pad button. It follows the same pattern as the board here, so we're just going to peel off the brown paper. There's a little like cut to help you with your fingernail for grabbing the paper. The paper comes off easily if you ever have trouble with the paper. Like this is made with multiple layers of plastic, and if you grabbed it in the corner and started peeling the plastic apart, it's very difficult. Where the paper comes off pretty easily. And also, this does not curl. It stays flat where the paper curls up. If it curls, if this curls, you've definitely peeled the plastic apart with it. So I'm going to just line this up with the dots visually. Get as close as I can. The dot pattern actually follows the rubber keypad, and it's a little off from the circuit board, but not really. So you got it there, and you can see that's good. And then I'll do the long strip. You could do it here, you could do it here, it doesn't really matter. Line those dots up. Do the smaller one. Now, if you do need to put this down, you don't need to put a lot of pressure. You don't want to push on the buttons because you could cave them in. And you just touch it there and it'll stay. And it also is easy to remove and reposition if you need to. You know, if I didn't like where that landed, I can go in with some tweezers and pick it up, put it back down. Okay, I'll do this button. Now this one is not used. So I'm going to put it there. If you look at your rubber keypad, it's right up the one we want is up there, and then there's a big gap here. So that one's doesn't do anything. And a single one on the button there. And that's it. Now we're ready to put it back together. Everything in reverse order. There are some loose like metal spacers here, so hopefully you didn't tip it over and lose them, but each one of those has one of those little metal spacers. Put this down. First thing I'm going to do is just plug this in to get it out of my way. And plug this in. And you just push that in so you can't see the silver anymore. And then just push on both ends at the same time. Okay. And then it's pretty obvious the middle one there was the bolt, and the rest of them are these raised posts. So I'm probably going to dig through my parts bins and see if I can find a few screws to replace the ones that somebody took apart. They've probably been taking their unit apart and cleaning the keypad without the membrane repair, and that doesn't last very long. The membrane keypad should never wear out, and it seals out any dirt or anything like that and the oils from the rubber can no longer get in. Okay, so we got this board here, and this one did not have the fan, right? Yeah, that had the fan, so we just put that in. And get that to go through there. And then remember, we've got this row of pins, so we want to make sure it's lined up and not put pressure and bend those pins. And I can look down here and I can see they all have the gold pin in them now, so I'll just push down like that. Okay, and then these two back here had the raised screw post, and if you're confused at all, you can kind of look at this and look at that. And I can see here that this did not have just a keypad problem. This plug here, which should have pulled out, has actually broken off the board here. So that is going to need resoldering. It's a surface mount. It goes on there. Now, I hope that works. It looks like it should. So some of them were stuck on the board, and then the solder broke on all of the others. So before I put this back together, I'm going to have to solder that connector. But just to show you, make sure you plug the fan in. Make sure you plug the ground wire in there. This rubber thing, I think, is easier to take off and put. There's this rubber gasket to put on the plastic bottom. So I plug that in, plug this in, and it only goes in one way. It's marked plus with the red and minus with the blue wire. That would go in. And then the two screws there, which, yeah, those are missing too. So there's two screws there that were missing. And all those screws, I think they're just regular Phillips, if I remember correctly. And then the battery, well, this piece just goes on the edge there. It likes to fall off pretty easily, so it's a little bit annoying. But you just put that on the back on the edge, and be careful when you're putting it back together, because it's difficult to put on and then really easy to fall off. Sticking out a little bit over here for some reason. I would go ahead, I would trim this off if you've got some snips, like it's sticking out. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to cut a tiny bit off of there. Yep. And then I would carefully, when this is back together, just put that back down there, fish this through the hole in the side, put it down there, and put the screws on. But I'm going to have to stop the video here because I need to fix that plug and find some screws.